Hey there, Conncast here. We're here with the first subscriber appreciation cast. This will be a live stream answering some questions. Of course, I have some preloaded questions that came from various forums, from my Instagram, from personal questions, and from 4chan before I got banned. I did actually get banned from 4chan for posting my videos on Grand Strategy General in VG. But anyways, I guess we should get cracking. This will probably end up being a pretty long cast. I'm not properly drunk, but I've got enough alcohol in me to be absolutely haram, right? So let's do this. I'm watching the chat bar. I'm going to save some of the edgier questions, especially regarding a certain period of time and a certain politician, until later on in the chat, because my employers have some Germans over right now, and I don't want them to overhear and get pissed off. But anyways, first question is, in what direction do you want to take the channel? This came from a normie from a forum that was telling me that, you know, it's just like anything, channels are better if they specialize. But, you know, they're a normie, and they said I was fairly insightful, and they liked my videos. They also had a few other suggestions, but I would like to take the channel. I'm going to keep doing the Let's Plays, of course, because they're easy to make. I can stack them up, and I can do them really quick. But I'm also going to concentrate on making my historical videos and such a little bit less, less common. If you go to a history course, you may learn about the Great Northern War, which is, by the way, my next scripted video. Sweden, no. But I'm going to concentrate on like certain political issues in Latin America and the Third World. I'm currently writing one on the president of Suriname, Desi Bouterse. I can't pronounce his name. Bouterse. And how that illustrates that really a lot of the times the military is more democratic than the democratic process in the Third World. And I'm going to be writing several concasts on Africa, but, you know, not like modern Africa, but I'm going to write one on Rhodesia. I'm going to write one on just the Boer Wars in general. I'm going to write one on Bastille Cousteau, who's like the General Lee of Southern Africa. I'm going to write one on sort-of-based Paul Kruger, who was the first flat earth nationalist, truly ahead of his time. But yeah, so I mean, lesser known history is sort of my lesser known history in third world politics, I guess, will be my specialization. Okay, the next question, which is from a 4chan post, is, as a commentator, even though you're a very small failure commentator, what do you think about the state of the alt-right right now? Personally, I think that the alt-right was at its best during the United States election in 2016, until shortly after. A lot of people will tell you that memes didn't play a big part in that. I think they actually did. Positive politics played a huge part in it too, but memes did play a part, I think. Meme magic is real, Keck is real. And I think the state of the alt-right right now is really confused as to what it is. It still has that air of unification a little bit from the election, but at the same time, it's really unorganized, and it's taken up the hobby of co-opting things They saw during the election that they could co-opt Pepe the Frog, which is, it's Pepe the Frog, but now they've sort of like taken it to Spinal Tap 11. With they co-opted the trash dove pretty quick. They're working on co-opting the Harry Potter symbol. I think there's some people who think they have. They've co-opted the Trump fingers, the AOK sort of, you know what I'm talking about. If any of you know me in person, I've got it as my profile picture on WhatsApp. As WP, white power. They've co-opted, just a lot of symbols. And I think they should stop doing that, because the more they actively try to make things hate symbols and co-opt things, the less people are going to be sympathetic, the more they separate themselves from the general public, if you catch my drift. Which I know the alt-right takes pride in not being normies and all that, but just not an efficient way to get your message out there. Because I think we all have a message that we want to get out there. We've got 2 watching now. Don't know who it is. I'm guessing Rudy and Mountain Man. If you want to ask a question, I'm all ears. What else? Yeah, somebody who knows that I'm from Canada asked me what the opinion on the Canadian election coming up is in the Conservative primaries. Well, first off, if you don't know a lot about Canadian politics, everybody knows Trudeau's in power, but he's got a low approval rating, so it's Mountain Man reppin'. Oh yeah. Okay, but Canadian politics is pretty much, you have the Liberal Party, which is like the Democrats, but set to 11, Spinal Tap 11. And the Conservative Party is like the Republican Party, but they are so they're so cucked that they've given up the whole guns thing almost. They're not like most of them don't even talk about gun rights anymore or free speech or anything like that. It's mostly just, okay, we'll keep the income tax low, but we can't stop the sale of baby meat. And then there's the NDP, which is our third party. Canada has a third party that are pretty much open communists. They like unions so much that they want to take unions out for a lobster dinner. But yeah, the NDP, there's them, but they always side with the Liberals on almost every issue, because they used to be very economically left and very socially right, because they used to have their main base in farmers and co-ops, but now they're just straight up extreme left party. So as far as the Conservative primaries go, I'm very suspicious of Kelly Leitch. She's one of the front runners. Even though I would prefer her to Kevin O'Leary. My father likes Kevin O'Leary, but I think he's the most obvious plant I've ever seen. Like Alex Jones said, if Donald Trump is a plant, he's the most sophisticated plant I've ever seen. Well, Kevin O'Leary's really the opposite. He's just, to me, he strikes me as sort of just a liberal that can rustle some jimmies if he wants to. You know, he'll continue doing the Trudeau shit, but he'll make a culturally insensitive, by today's standards, politically incorrect comment every once in a while, and everybody will get their feathers ruffled. The only good thing I can see about an O'Leary prime minister is the only good thing I can say about an O'Leary prime minister is that an O'Leary-Trump combo would be legendary as far as rustling liberal jimmies. But there's Kelly Leitch, Kevin O'Leary, Lemieux. I don't know much about Lemieux, but I'm very cautious around Frenchmen, especially French Canadians. Who else is there? There's Deepak Oberoi. I like the way he is, but I don't like his immigration policy. I actually liked him before I looked up all their immigration policies, because they don't talk about it in the debates or anything. So there's Deepak Oberoi. There's Rick Peterson. He doesn't talk that much about immigration, meaning it's probably just going to be par for the course. But I like his tax plan a lot because he's like NCAP Peterson. And also every time I talk about him on Twitter, he retweets and likes what I say. So Conncast could become the Steve Bannon of Canada if the guy who has 2% of the conservative voting base wins the conservative election and wins the election. So I'm a Rick Peterson guy on that. This one's from Facebook on the poll page. I admin the poll page and I'll take advantage of it a lot to advertise my shit. I've toned it down a little bit, but you know. Anyways, they said, why are you such a faggot that you play Civilization 5? Of course, my answer at the time was because homosexuality is the last implicit stand of white identity. But really, it's because I'm not that terribly bad at Civilization 5 in the sense that I remember how to play it. I don't play a lot of video games because I don't have a PC that's capable of playing any video game. I can't even load, if you guys remember Tyrion from the 90s, I can't load that on my current computer. I'm sort of limited to just doing things on a web browser and Notepad. But anyways, I can't really play video games on my computer, so I have to go back home and borrow my brother's computer to play video games. And the 3 games that I am familiar with that he owns, which are also 3 games that I bought and put on his Steam account because he owns a computer that's better than mine, are Civilization 5, Victoria 2, and Napoleon Total War. I'm playing Victoria 2 with excellent reception, by the way. People are really digging what I'm doing with Victoria 2 in general. Like even normies, even though I talk about some edgy shit while I'm there, some racial stuff, some edgy stuff. Civilization 5, it's not quite like nobody watches it except for a few people. It's got far less views than the Victoria 2. But nobody that I know of has ever finished Red World War II on a Let's Play. And I'm determined to do just that. That's what the Patreon is for, folks. Exactly. I'm going to pledge right now that if anybody sponsors me on Patreon, the money will go immediately. Donate so Conncast can play as God wants. God wants me to play strategy video games on my own time. He wants me to stream strategy video games live. Rudy Memes is correct. But I hereby pledge that any money given to me on Patreon will immediately go towards computer equipment so that I can, 1, work online and be a professional NEET, and 2, play games under request and improve my content. You can hold me to this. This video will stay up. I don't play a lot of Europa Universalis. That's God's will. Deus Vult. Deus Vult. Conncast will play the games he wants to. No, but I want to learn how to play Europa Universalis better. I am pretty dank at Stellaris, but my copy on my brother's PC is pirated, so I can't play it on YouTube. I shouldn't even say that, but whatever. Mountain Blade, I would love to play a little bit of Mountain Blade on Let's Plays. That would be really fun. Lose to some Sea Raiders with a whole bunch of Swadian Knights. What else? Hearts of Iron. I have played Hearts of Iron. Sarah Bean says, "New phone. Who dis?" Sarah, this is Connor 3 Ginnies in. New phone, who dis? Just so that you guys know, I really value, one, you guys as subscribers, and two, your input on videos. Because without feedback, you can't improve anything. But anyways, so lacking other questions, I guess somebody on 4chan asked, what is the best country in Asian Tradwife? Okay. What is the best country? I'm going to just take that as what is the best country in Asia, because it really is two different questions. What kind of mic do I have? Okay, here's the thing. In my house where I am right now, I'm using a $2 set of Maxell headphones to link into my Toshiba netbook that is 3 years old. When I record the Concasts, I am using these same headphones, but connected to my phone, and then I send it to, either I send it directly to Rudy Memes, or I send it to my brother who will sound edit it, and then I send it to Rudy Memes. If I'm at my brother's house doing Let's Plays, he's got a really nice microphone because he likes to play Counter-Strike and stuff. So it's a Yeti microphone. It's the one with the different settings. I don't know much about microphones. But if I was to do anything musical that just wasn't on the spot, like the Kekistan anthem, I would most definitely go over to my brother's house. And he would probably go, I want to go live, but my face equals butthole. Where do you live again? Panama or some third world shithole similar? Yes, I live in Panama. And I don't live in Panama City either. It's not as third world as most third world countries. I mean, things could be worse. I would be far worse off. I would be far worse off if I was in, say, like even Costa Rica. AWIS 2012. Buy a used Audio-Technica AT 2020. You can find them for like $60 and you will sound like you're right there in person. AWIS, when I get $60, I will do just that when I get $60 extra. I gotta balance the books right now though, because I'm fixing my car and I'm like $100 in the hole for that. So that's like a week's wage before costs. So I mean, I have $60 in my pocket right now, but I have it pre-allocated. That's amazing. Those are some really good $2 headsets. Thanks, Rudy Memes. I've heard others that sound like total trash and cost more. Yeah, I didn't really know how these would sound when I bought them. I just bought them because they were the cheapest ones. But I figured Maxell is it's not the best brand, but it's pretty good for the price. It's a good price value brand. My keyboard's Maxell, and it actually types almost like a mechanical keyboard as far as, because I touch type and do that, but it's almost as good as a mechanical keyboard, but it's a membrane. It's one of the best membrane keyboards I've ever typed on, maybe just because it's new. My bad experience with Maxell, I got some speakers in the middle subwoofer, didn't work, but whatever. What do you do for a living? Just curious. Well, Sarah, I do a lot of things for a living. My main thing is that I work on a farm. I watch 2 horses and 2 greenhouses. And you know, that's great because I get free rent, which otherwise would take up like half my salary. So I do that. Additionally, I'm getting started on mushroom growing, you know, mycology. I'm actually putting a roof on my mushroom house tomorrow. I used to sell real estate and I still do that a little bit. I've got some listings that, you know, people just, I'm very, even though I've never sold real estate in North America. Yeah, hell yeah, dude, that's fucking awesome, TVH. Yeah, it fucking is. I'm not gonna lie. No, and it pays pretty good too. No, not like magic mushrooms. That's the first question for everybody, to be honest. But I'm selling culinary mushrooms because 1, they're not illegal to distribute. 2, they store better. Yeah, I know. I grew magic mushrooms in high school, says Sarah. Yeah, they're not rocket science to grow. If I wanted to sell magic mushrooms, I'd have more than enough because there's horses right here that I'm taking care of, so I could just go behind their stable and take it from their shit. But it's good. So I still do a little bit of real estate. I still technically have a chemical business, even though I've been sort of blacklisted from that. So I got to keep it to a lower, nobody wants to buy them from me because they're all in the same bed together. What else? I'm going to take a medical transcription course once I confirm that I may be able to get work online for that. And once I get the money to start doing that, I get to do. And yeah, I mean, I'm working with some that's going to start. Wait, I'm 21 years old. I'm 22 next month, but bear in mind that I started the real estate thing when I was like, I was 17, I think. Before that, even I was training to be a scientific farrier, but I hurt my neck. I mean, I can't still shoe a horse. I can shoe a horse damn well still, given the right tools. But as far as that goes, you got to do several horses a day to make a living on. I can only do 2 or 3, and I'm done for the day because my neck starts bugging me. Neck and back. Once you get the leg muscles, it isn't that hard on your leg, but you know how it works. I'm going to be AFK for just a second here. Do you think Le Pen has a solid chance in Le French Connection? Yes, I think Le Pen has a solid chance in the French election. I think it's going to be, it depends, because it's Le Pen and Fillon. But Le Pen has a lot of support from Le Pen has a lot of support from young people. It's actually sort of the opposite of the Trump thing. But I think it'll be between Le Pen and Fillon. And if Le Pen becomes the front runner, she's going to win against Macron. But if Fillon becomes the front runner, Macron's going to win. Give me just 1 second. I'll be back in 1 second. Sorry. Okay, I'm back. Figures, well, okay, by the way, sub to Cognition immediately if you're watching this. He does some great ambient music, good beats, good, it's just good stuff, quality stuff. And he's going to come out with more, I'm sure. I really liked his, what was your first track called, Cognition? The first one you released? I really liked the first one he released, and I also really liked the last one he released, Cognition Part 1. They were both really good. The only electronic music I like is ambient and super Eurobeat. Yeah, Brief Glance of Home. That it really did. It does what ambient music really needs to do. It evokes emotion, but it doesn't evoke an exact image. Now, of course, you put an image of the Earth, so it really. Are you trying to make echo quotes there? Yeah, but. Brief Glance of Home and Cognition 1 especially evokes emotions, but Connor, tell us a story. A story. Well, you see, there once was a traveling salesman, and he was his car broke down in a farm town, and he asked a farmer, "Hey, can I stay with you for the night? Got to get a mechanic in the morning, but got to call him in from the city." And the farmer said, "Okay, you can stay in the barn. I don't have an extra bedroom." And they got into the barn, and the traveling salesman went in the barn, and he said to the farmer, "Okay, do I need to know anything? You know, are there any animals that are going to come in? Bulls that are going to gore me? Pigs that are going to ram me? Goats that are going to, you know, stomp me down?" And the farmer said, "Nope, nothing here. The barn's been uninhabited for quite some time. But you see these 3 holes in the wall? Whatever you do, don't stick your penis in any of these 3 holes in the wall." And the salesman said, "All right, farmer." The farmer went into his house, and they all went to sleep. But the traveling salesman, having to sleep on hay and not being used to that, couldn't really sleep. So he stayed up and got to thinking, and he got a little bit curious. He stuck his penis in the first hole, and it felt good. And that got him to thinking again. So he stuck his penis in the second hole, and that felt better. And then stuck his penis in the third hole, and he started screaming like nobody's business. And the farmer came out, and he said, "Hey, what are you doing? I told you not to stick your penis in any of them holes." And he, you know, took a break in his screaming and intense pain, obviously, he said, But the other 2 felt so good, and this one feels so bad." The farmer said, "Well, the first hole was my wife. The second hole was my daughter. But the third hole is a milking machine that don't stop until it gets 50 liters. Now, you see, the traveling salesman is really a metaphor for the American taxpayer, and the holes are really metaphors for government spending. You see, at the beginning, it feels good to have the government spend on your behalf. But then before you know it, you hit the milking machine that don't stop till it gets 50 liters. And you're shit out of luck. The end. Alrighty. Now, lacking some other questions. What school of economics do you follow, Conncast? Well then, that's BRB with some more asinine questions. Okay, sir, I'll only be on for another. Breaking now, grenade attack in Malmo, Sweden. Are you talking about a grenade attack? Well, here's the thing. Somebody told me the other day, well, first, that when you know, Mountain Man told me about, you know, Sweden last night being reinterpreted, and I read into what Trump actually said, and I said, well, joke's on them. Sweden, last night in Sweden is every night in Sweden. My brother told me a few days ago that, what's that cuck's name, the British guy, that's some cultures are better than others. What's the guy's name? He works for InfoWars. The guy who sells the supplements and stuff, but he's British, and I think he's actually gay too, but he's not like flaming fag like Milo. Anyways, that guy, if you know who he is, he said that exact same thing, and my brother told me yesterday. But I said it after I put together what exactly happened. But Sweden's going to be a third world country by 2030. And that's according to the UN, actually. They're just dividing the pie so many ways, bringing in people who are not going to make the pie bigger. And, it's just, you can't mix things like that. That really sucks for Swedes, though. One of my good online friends, one of my first solely online friends, is a Swede. And even though he's in Norrland, in what's the town called? Not Norrland, Norrbotten, near Finland. And what's the town called? Luleå, I think, which is like the redneck part of Sweden. It's like the Alabama of Sweden. He says he's also not alt-right. He's just like a dude, and he's actually left-leaning. But he says, all the girls I like are like they just like Somalis. They're into dust niggers. And the political correctness, like even him as a leftist, is it's too much for him. Just like there's a Swedish dessert called nigger balls that they're actually trying to ban the dessert itself because it's called nigger balls. But wow. My next video is actually, and Rudy Memes is editing it right now, is Sweden No, which is about the Great Northern War and Carolus Rex, a part of Sweden that not many people other than Sabaton listeners really know about. Because I was talking to my boss the other day, who's sort of just a normie American. He's a little bit unique because he's from New York City, but he's red. He's red as it gets. But he said he doesn't really understand why Sweden came from Vikings and became the most pacifistic country in the world. Which I'm assuming to normies it doesn't make any sense, but there was a period in between in which Sweden was just totally brutal. Through the 30 Years' War, there were, Gustavus Adolphus was not only a Protestant hero, but he took vast swaths of Germany without any mercy, and Carolus Rex just retaliated against Russia with the force of his whole highly sophisticated army. Russia tried to offer peace like 3 times, but he just wouldn't stop. So, I mean, it wasn't just a direct switch. Everything's a gradual change. And when is the Sweden No coming out? When is the Sweden No coming out? I want it. Sad face. Well, Rudy Memes, how are you doing on that, Rudy Memes? This is a Q&A session. I never said that it just has to be my questions and my answers. Rudy Memes, when's Sweden No coming out? Anyways, what else? Oh, do you watch Gooktoons? No, I don't watch Gooktoons. You see, when it comes to Mongolian cave paintings, when I was a minor, I watched a lot of Naruto, and I think that's this week, if God wills it, which he does. Well, thank you, Rudy Memes. But as far as Gooktoons go, I mean, the Mongol cave paintings, I watched Naruto on YTV. I got into, like, in the way that most North American children get into animus. Basically, if you stay up, in Canada at least, there's a channel called YTV, and if you stay up until 9 on Friday nights, it starts showing anime, and there's like two solid hours of anime. They showed back in my time, they showed like Inuyasha, Naruto, then a show called Mar, and then another one that I can't even remember. But so I watched Naruto. I didn't like Inuyasha much, but Naruto really impressed me because I was watching like Western cartoons at that point, and just the depth really spoke to me. So I kept watching Naruto and I followed it quite a bit. As far as other animes go, though, I mean, I've watched Evangelion, and I watched it actually last year because of just the impact it's had on general culture and especially internet culture. And I do actually think it holds up now. It's a very well drawn, well presented anime. I've watched a little bit of Maria the Virgin Witch because it was hyped up for me by my brother, who's really into them Malaysian bone carvings. But didn't really like it. And as far like, I watched Cowboy Bebop, which was okay, but it's sort of the least anime. And aside from that, one anime which I actually recommend because it's just a single movie, there's nothing else, you don't have to read outside the lines, you don't have to follow anything, is Red Line. Which, I mean, again, I'm not a big anime fan, but I like animated movies. And if an animated movie happens to be Japanese and happens to be good, then that's great. I really liked Red Line. I like movies more than television series in general because I can just sort of, I can watch the whole thing and digest it as a whole in one sitting. Yellow Fever, he says, Rudy memes. The first, speaking of Yellow Fever Rudy memes, the first grill I went with was actually half Jap. It's funny because Rudy knows what this is, but maybe some American viewers like Sarah and Mountain Man are not going to know exactly how this works, but it's similar in El Salvador. We've gone over it before. But Social Security, when basically in Latin America, Cognition, what's the best film ever made and why is it Citizen Kane? The best film ever made is Citizen Kane because it's masterfully acted and it holds out a reveal that isn't too tacky, yet holds emotional depth. Additionally, the cinematography is sublime, and the 5-minute shot is excellent. However, I have to give honorable mentions to Stalker, because that shit fucked up my brain. When I first watched it, I was expecting it to be like the video game. If you haven't seen it, watch it. Apocalypse Now, just because of the scale of that movie, is incredible, and I really like the way it knew exactly what it was. And yeah, that's my list. Citizen Kane, Stalker. Stalker was definitely the best foreign language film in my opinion, and Apocalypse Now. Anyways, so basically you can have public health care at a low cost anywhere, regardless of what you're doing. If you're employed illegally, you can have Social Security health care, which is marginally better and covers some of your pharmaceuticals, but is often just as bad. And there's also private health care. And I'm pretty sure that's the way it goes in most of Central America. Now, anyways, this half Jap that I went with, and we're still in good terms. We talk to each other too, because I actually got her into the fortunes. But anyways, her father was born in Japan and is Panamanian through naturalization. He married a Panamanian. But he runs the Social Security office in the town that I live in, the town that I commute to, because it's not the nearest town, nor is it the nearest district seat, but the town I commute to, the town I used to live in. But she, her father runs the town that the Social Security in the town that I used to live in. the town that I used to live in, and it actually has and he's Japanese, and it continually has the award for the most efficient social security office in the country, which the only way it would be more efficient is that if they hired a German to do another town, and wow, man, great taste, and yes, Stalker's a great movie. Yeah, Stalker was a really good movie because I think a lot of the criticism of Stalker actually are calling it pseudo-intellectual, but I like Stalker quite a bit, and I really like one scene that specifically, well, the two scenes that hit me hardest. I don't know why. You may read this any way you want. Is one when they're going to this when they're going towards when they're in the zone, and they're stepping over like different pads over a shallow water because they have it's there's heavy implication that it's irradiated there, but when they're stepping over this shallow water, and I believe there's a dog there, that really messed with me for some reason. I don't know if it's how the shot was shot or what context it was in that I just wasn't reading consciously, but it was, I don't know. Additionally, of course, this will be, this is sort of I'm not going to spoil the movie for you, but there's not supposed to be any outside contact to the zone. And when he's guiding some people in the zone through this building, there's this phone that starts ringing, and he involuntarily answers the phone, and there's some guy on the other side, and he says, "No, this isn't Dr. Tchaikovsky's office," and hangs up, and all of them just look at each other, and that, I don't know, that just put butterflies in my stomach. It was, Stalker is not so much a movie as an experience. I would say, as a movie, knowing that it's a movie, Citizen Kane is a better movie for sure, by far, because you know how to identify cinematography, you know how to identify the acting, you know that Orson Welles is doing his job, and everybody else. But Stalker, if you can get immersed into it, it's just an incredible trip to take. Apocalypse Now, I think that just sort of holds a little bit of a soft spot for me because I'm really into Vietnam War era, Cold War era sort of observations, Okay. I think I'm going to take one more question from the chat bar, and we'll call it a day. I don't want to make it too long that nobody will ever watch it again. So who is up of the three watching now? Still waiting. I'm actually going to go AFK for a sec, if you don't mind, and I'll come back and I'll see who them boys. Okie dokie. I knew it was going to be, no, there's no dentist. Uncle Squidbo, yes. Yes, that's an incredible scene. Is it Alex Jones? Answer me, no, Fagito. Alex Jones, that shape-shifting child molesters are running the world, by the way. And why is this Alex Jones, right? Cracking open a cold one with the boys. Yes, that's literally what I just did, but I drink warm beer because I'm so fucking Anglo. Behind every Uden is also an Anglo. Why is Alex Jones always right? Because Alex Jones knows how to identify alien intelligence. That's why he's always right. Also, everybody did it unless they're Jewish. Just buy some water filters. I got a family to feed, okay? Also, SBB Blitz, support my Patreon. 1488 from Alcoholic Piss. Well, I mean, the lolly lover strikes again. Well, you can't really deny a man his lollies. It's just the way it goes. Especially in, you know, speaking of that, Camilo, I've got a friend, and he says he's from the U.S., but he lives here. But he says here he's like he ogles over lollies all day long. But whenever he goes back to the U.S., his lolly senses just shut off. So there's obviously just some sort of a lolly vibe going on in Latin America in general. And he says it's the same thing in Costa Rica and the same thing in Mexico. Sorry. Okay, it's in the water. Yeah, I believe that. Okay, finally, Camilo Jose Rodriguez. What's your favorite philosophical school and why? Mine is Stoicism. Well, Cognition, I would say mine is Stoicism as well. I'm sorry, I'm trying to speak Spanish, but mine's Stoicism as well. But you see, that's mostly because the way that we grew up as like conservative millennials, the world was a really shitty place, and we needed to suppress our emotions like a lot. But I like Stoicism, and I'm really reading a lot more into different philosophy now that, you know, we actually have a conservative zeitgeist going in. But if regions, but anyways, I do, yeah. Anyways, so it's Stoicism as well. Thanks, Mountain Man. If her age isn't on the clock, she's ready for the blank. I'm going to let you fill that. Can you be into lollies here without a lengthy jail sentence? SBB Blitz. Everybody is into lollies in Panama. If you talk to, I'm not going to incriminate myself in any way, and not that I have anything incriminating to say. But if you talk to like girls that are like 18, 19, 20 years old, I would say, maybe it's just because it's me talking to people, but I would say like the general is that they were not pure douche-balls crusader women after like 12 or 13 years old. So it's incredibly common, by the way. This is turning into ASMR, and I'm not bothered. Yeah, there's nothing better than an ASMR value of a Spurg talking himself to death on camera or on microphone. That's why a lot of people watch Stefan Molyneux, Freedom and Radio, as ASMR. No one told me this. Why? Why did nobody tell you? What? The water? It's okay if she's 1 million years old, though. Yes, it's okay if she's a million years old. It's yeah. Anyways, yeah, I can tell who's into the anime. So I'm gonna take a little straw poll. Considering there's people actually logged in this time, this isn't very common. Usually it's just Rudy memes and the people talking. But anyways, si ese culito tiene 12, yo tengo 12. Lógico sueso. When is the next crusade? That's a good question. That's a very good question. The only way to absolve your sins, such as going with lollies, is going on crusade, actually. The want for a crusade is actually higher than it's been since the 13th century in a poll by the Vatican. However, we're not going to get a crusade with the current Pope. Pope Francis is, let's face it, I'm sorry for being heretical, but Pope Francis is a cock. Like, I can't even believe he became Pope. I would rather, personally, I would rather have remember when they were actually electing the Pope and the black guy came in? I would rather have the African guy be Pope, because Africans, if nothing else, are incredibly God-fearing. Ha 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 ha. Yo, I gotta save that sound clip. Deus Vult. It appears that if whatever I say always spirals back to Deus Vult. It's been twice this time, this Conncast, that Deus Vult has come up. But Deus Vult indeed. Fagito, man, when are we having the Fascism Autism podcast? I'm free this week. Well, Camilo, I'd like to get more into the whole networking podcast thing. And, what's the 29th? The African Cardinal is super based AF, literally Urban the Second Reborn. No, the African Cardinal, there's absolutely, I'm not Catholic, but I can't see anything wrong with him. Anything is an improvement for Francis. I mean, like, I can name local priests that are an improvement for Pope Francis. Is Northern Southern our Lord and Savior? SBB Blitz. Okay, here's time for the ultimate red pill. There's something called the alt-right, and it's separated from the alt-right after the election. Lord and Southern is just an alt-right thought that works for Ezra Levant, who is a total shill. I need to watch the Facho Autism podcast. Okay, Camilo, finishing the question. I'm going to try to do a podcast from Cryptopoco with Mr. Oscar. I'm sorry, I was trying to figure out what to call him on this. From Black Swan Finance. But how about, I don't know, Thursday? What day is today? I'm going to check on my calendar, actually. Yeah, Uncle Squidbo. I think it's the 27th, right? Yeah. Yeah, the 27th. So how about Thursday? Thursday sounds good. I need to watch the Facho Autism podcast. And yes, Uncle Squidbo, the Facho Autism podcast is going to be discussing various different kinds of fascism. It's going to be criticizing various types of government that most people claim are fascism or accused of being fascism. Accepts hammer and sickle cross, Pope. Yep, exactly. Evo Morales, buddy. Dude, at Lauren Southern, thank you. Also, Lauren Southern is actually unofficially part of that, like, YouTube covenant. Pope Francis has already denied God. Thursday is okay, my boy. I'll send you my Skype via Facebook. It's going to be a lot of memes. I don't doubt it, buddy. I don't doubt it. But anyways, agreed. But yeah, Evo Morales is, he gave the Pope a hammer and sickle cross. Also, I'm pretty sure the Pope hates everything electronic now because he accepted Undertale, and that's filled with weird fetish shit. Appreciate it. So yeah, Thursday, I guess I can schedule that at some point. It's going to have a lot of memes. But anyway, just to plug myself later on, and Nodsbull Boy's gonna die, fucking traitor. Yeah, I agree. Nodsbull is a meme, went too far. Fuck Nodsbull. This Conncast got lit. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, it did. Nodsbulls are faggots, dude. Okay. Anyways, I guess I'm gonna keep this under an hour now because, I don't know. live chat. This is pretty lit right now. But yeah, Thursday, we're going to talk about Italian fascism, Peruvian fascism, Romanian legionnaire fascism, Nazism. We're going to talk about pseudo-fascism, Peronism. We're going to talk about Pinochet and minarchism, and rip Pinochet a new one and all of his weird ANCAP supporters. We're going to talk about all kinds of. We're gonna cover the Javada Kubri Lagawa. Boy, Jack Donald, your favorite grand strategy to play, grand start to play. I'm gonna assume that's the grand strategy. I like Victoria 2. Victoria 2 was Hearts of Iron was my first grand strategy game. I don't know who Jack Donald is. Hey, thanks for tuning in, Jack Donald. But I like Victoria 2, one, because I have a real hard-on for the period it's in. I really like playing as like Transvaal and Orangi and places like that. And, you know, I like the Victorian period. I have the others I played Europa Universalis. I need to learn more about that. I'm not good at Europa Universalis. I played Stellaris, but that barely counts. But I'd have to say Victoria 2, Hearts of Iron, Stellaris, Europa Universalis, as it stands right now. I'm going to be AFK for 1 minute. Friendly reminder to keep the Irish as slaves in Vicky. Yes, yes. We need more Polish-Albanian interspace war. Uncle Squidbone, we're working on that. However, however, I had to rewrite the whole thing, really, because some people subscribed. That daily reminder that every grand strategy game is just a reskin of Herzogsei, and Dune is the best one. You'll have to show me how to play. We should do a collab one time, Cognition. The holy trifecta of strategy games. Yes, yes, I agree. RIP Conncast. Next South Africa episode when? Next South Africa episode coming Wednesday. You see, Jack Donald, I record all of my Let's Plays on the weekends. Triller got you pretty excited, huh? Yeah, that's not a unique feeling. I've had people message me specifically on Interspace on Instagram to say, "Damn son, that Polish Albanian meme you have going is dank." Yeah, no, and I want to continue that meme. Okay, here's a question for my viewers, my dedicated viewers. Do you think that ads scare away new viewers? Because somebody told me that I should disable ads for a time for more long-term gains because ads scare away new viewers. Just a question for you guys. Trailer got you excited, huh? Alrighty. I'm gonna. How long ago did this start? You know, I promised myself I was gonna keep this under an hour, so I'm gonna cut this short now. If you want another one of these, I'm gonna do another one for. Oh, let's see. I did it with love. Thank you. Everyone uses ad block anyway. I think people use ad block anyways. People who don't probably don't mind ads. I've got no problem with ads, but some people may find them annoying. I think they do scare new viewers away. Okay, so I'm not sure what exactly to do. It's not like I'm making a killing on ads right now. But before we end this, I'm going to ask you, if I was to do a moratorium on monetization, how long do you think it should be? I would take the advice, boy. Yeah, I'm leaning towards that because, I mean, what am I making? 61 cents? We love you, dude. Thanks, Rudy Memes. We love you too. No hummus. No hummus from this end. Okay. So how long do you think the moratorium of ads should be? Anyways, while you guys answer that, I'm going to say that if you want another one of these, since it's gone for more than an hour now, I'm going to wait till 100 subscribers to do another Q&A extravaganza of mediocrity. Okay. We love you, dude. Fuck the Jews. Maybe monetize until you have a consistent 1K views per video. I guess. When you hit 10K subs, hit them with the ads and rake in the sick YouTube cash. Jack Donald appears to agree. Well, I don't even think I'll ever get 10K subs, SBB Blitz, because I think I'll probably cap at like 5K subs, maybe 3K subs, because my content is so, it's not normie content. It's funny, but it's like, some of it's funny, but some of it's fun. Most of it's funny in a very obscure way. I mean, yeah. Anyway, so that's that. I guess on it, another one of these guys, and we'll check it out. Uncle Squidbo, wait until you have 50 million subs and become a millionaire. Aw, damn, I wish. I wish I could make content that would make me a millionaire. You've got potential. I don't know anybody doing a Vicky 2 Let's Play. Become big man, Tyrone. No, I mean, Vicky 2 Let's Plays are very rare because you have to keep it interesting with your own personality and knowledge. You can't like just Let's Play it. You get it, right? But yeah, I think, okay, I'm going to do a moratorium. I've decided to do a moratorium on monetization until I hit 100 subscribers. Right now, I'm not at 50 subscribers. I'm at Conncast. Let's see. I'm at 61 subscribers, okay? So I'll do a monetization moratorium until they get 100 subscribers. How's that sound? And to end this up, 1 billion bowls of burial. All right, this has been Conncast. I really appreciate you guys tuning in. Tune in for my other videos. Let's Plays coming every day. And we're going to do a Thursday podcast about the different types of fascism and the different types of not actually fascism. You guys have a great night. Conncast is signing out.